I'm Leo. If you've ever grown up as the reliable child, the one who works hard, stays out of trouble, and never asks for a handout, then you know exactly how it feels to be invisible until something goes wrong. But I never expected the night my own parents would look at me with pure hatred in their eyes. I was sitting at the kitchen table when a stack of legal papers was violently thrown in front of my face. My mother was shaking, tears streaming down her face, while my father stood over me, his fist clenched. "How could you do this to your brother?" he roared. "You've ruined Julian's future." I looked at the documents. It was a $50,000 eviction and default judgment notice. But the name on the debt wasn't mine. It belonged to my naughty younger brother, Julian. Yet, somehow, in their eyes, it was all my fault. Julian was the favorite. He could do no wrong. While I worked 2 jobs to pay my way through college, my parents bought Julian a car, funded his lifestyle, and excused every mistake. A year ago, Julian begged me to co-sign a lease and a business loan for him. I refused, knowing his reckless history with money. But Julian didn't take no for an answer. He forged my signature. He used my pristine credit score, built on years of sweat and sacrifice, to fund a luxury lifestyle that collapsed within months. When the collectors came knocking, Julian panicked and lied. He told our parents that I was the one who dragged him into a bad business deal, that I promised to pay the debts, and that I had abandoned him. Standing in that kitchen, I told my parents the truth. I showed them the forged documents. I told them Julian committed fraud. My mother slapped me across the face. "He is your brother," she screamed. "You have the savings. You pay this debt, or you are no longer a part of this family." They wanted me to bankrupt myself and commit fraud to protect their favorite child. That night, I walked out of that house with nothing but a duffel bag and a shattered heart. The people who gave me life had chosen a lie over my survival to save my financial future. I had to do the unthinkable. I filed a police report against my own brother for identity theft. The fallout was nuclear. My parents sent me dozens of texts calling me a monster, a traitor, and a parasite. Relatives blocked me. I was completely isolated. For the next 2 years, the loneliness was a physical weight in my chest. I spent holidays alone in a tiny, cold studio apartment, eating cheap takeout, wondering if I was truly the bad guy. I watched through social media as Julian suffered 0 consequences. My parents took out a second mortgage on their own home just to bail him out of jail, while completely erasing me from their lives. I was grieving a family that was still alive. But when you lose everything, you realize you have nothing left to fear. I channeled every ounce of my heartbreak into my work. I started a consulting firm, working 16-hour days, fueled by the burning desire to prove that I didn't need them to survive. My credit recovered. My business took off. Last month, 3 years after that horrific night, I bought my very first home, a beautiful house with the backyard bathed in sunlight. A week later, my phone rang. It was my mother. Her voice wasn't filled with anger anymore. It was broken. My brother had drained their second mortgage, left them in absolute ruin, and vanished. They were facing foreclosure. She asked me, with a trembling voice, if I could save them. I sat in my beautiful new living room, looking at the life I had built from the ashes of their betrayal. I felt a pang of sadness, but the guilt was gone. "Mom, I can't pay his debts," I said softly but firmly. "But I can pay for a mover to help you find a place you can actually afford." I finally understood a harsh truth that so many of us have to learn the hard way. You cannot fix a family that is committed to destroying themselves. My parents blamed me for a debt I didn't create, but in cutting me tie, they inadvertently gave me the freedom to build a wealth they could never touch. Thank you for listening. Till the next story.